Ayahuasca has become a hot topic in mainstream culture. There are more and more celebrities, business icons, and professional athletes sharing transformational stories about their work with this potent plant medicine. This creates a lot of curiosity, but also anxiety surrounding ayahuasca, as well as a ton of myths and misconceptions. So in this video, we'll talk through some of what you can expect in an ayahuasca experience so you can approach it with an informed perspective. But before we get started, take a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The psychedelic space is evolving every day, and we have a ton of amazing content coming out to keep you informed and up to date with the latest developments. The ayahuasca experience generally lasts between 4 and 8 hours, depending on how much you take, and there's a huge range of experiences that you might go through. Trying to describe the experience of ayahuasca does not do justice to the journey because it is so intensely personal and meaningful. Everybody is different, at a different place in their life journey, and working through different things. Every ceremony is different as well. You will never have the same experience. Your personal experience with ayahuasca will be entirely unique. That said, there are some common elements, so let's start with those common aspects. First of all, the medicine doesn't taste very good, so there can be some initial nausea after you drink. So it typically takes anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes to feel the medicine, and in most ceremonies, you'll sit in silence for the first 20 to 30 minutes. At first, you may yawn, sweat, laugh, or shake, and these are all forms of energetic purging and are completely normal. You may notice your thoughts become more rapid and somewhat scattered. Your heart rate becomes a bit faster, and you may experience some fluctuations in body temperature. You may start to see sparkles or subtle colorful patterns as you slip into what could be described as a trance state. It is during this state that the majority of the experience takes place, and from here it becomes very personal. Ayahuasca works on many different levels. It is a long journey, and like a good story, you will likely go through several phases of that journey. The single most important thing is to trust the process, to relax into the experience instead of resisting it. And let's start with one of the most misunderstood aspects of an ayahuasca ceremony, purging. A lot of people have anxiety about purging. Yes, there can be vomiting, crying, diarrhea, and physical discomfort as physical, emotional, and energetic toxins are cleansed out of your mind, body, and spirit. This is a completely normal part of the process. It can actually feel quite liberating in ceremony as you release stuck energy and patterns. Often, you can even have awareness of the mental and emotional patterns as you release them through a purge. In fact, I had a ceremony where I vomited out what felt like pure anger that I had stored since childhood. I could feel it leaving my body in a purge, and afterwards I felt so much lighter and happier. I was a better, more whole person after that purge. There are countless stories of people feeling shame, guilt, and other toxic emotions that are purged out during a ceremony. On the other hand, there can also be intense physical feelings of euphoria, bliss, or orgasmic ecstasy. Other times it can be intensely visual and play out like a dream, visions in colorful landscapes. Sometimes it can be very experiential and you can vividly relive childhood memories. Emotionally, it can put you in touch with feelings that are hidden under your conscious awareness. It could be attached to experiences or individuals, or it could just be a pure emotion. You may have a deep embodied experience of peace or relaxation, or you realize how many emotions you've suppressed that need to be released or expressed. Mentally, it can bring you powerfully inspiring and creative ideas. Solutions to your biggest problems can appear out of nowhere. You can realize that you need to have an important conversation with someone or that you need to make a critical decision. You may recognize patterns that you have unconsciously repeated for years or decades. And on the spiritual level, you can have incredible insights or ineffable mystical experiences that cannot be put into words. Sometimes certain teachings from wisdom traditions can take on an entirely new and visceral meaning. Or you may simply feel a deeper connection to a higher purpose. There can also be experiences of communicating with other beings, the spirit of ayahuasca, relatives who have passed away, angels, Buddhas, or other spiritual beings. Some people feel a deep, unspoken connection to the universe or spirit or God. The possible experiences are endless and highly personal to you and your unique healing journey with ayahuasca. Again, the most important part is to relax and trust that the experience you are having is exactly what you need, even if it isn't pleasant during the moment. So that's a brief overview of some of what you can expect in an ayahuasca ceremony. If you feel called to work with this medicine, we highly recommend you work with an experienced practitioner. You can find a curated directory of vetted and trusted retreat centers and practitioners on the Third Wave directory by clicking the link in the description. And that's going to bring you to a place where you can look at all these different ayahuasca retreats that you could potentially work with. Remember, this is a potent medicine, has a long lineage and history of use. It's been used for over thousands of years, and it is another step up from psilocybin mushrooms. So be intentional, be mindful, and fully surrender to the experience for it to be healing and transformational. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to stay up to date on the third wave of psychedelics, subscribe to this channel and visit thethirdwave.co, where you'll find plenty of free resources on the intentional and responsible use of psychedelic medicine.